We are live once again. I feel like if you've been watching today's episodes, you're tired of me saying it, but I have to say it because yes, you're not mistaken. This is the third episode of the day. We're ending the trifecta here with my hermano. As welcome everyone back to Respect the Craft. This is episode number 55, and I'm joined by the Nemesis himself, Danny. What's up, brother? How are you doing?
I am exhausted, but I'm good. I'm
Brother,
always good, dude.
you
You
and me
already
both.
know. I stay busy, but I'm always good.
Hey, like I told you before we started this, if you're tired, you know you did something right.
Absolutely.
That
I'm
busy
always
feeling
busy,
is the
dude.
best. And again, if you guys have been watching, you guys have seen my day has been hella busy because we had awesome episodes so far. We had the rep, which you guys are going to be seeing this Saturday at Project. We had El Jefe and Miguel Sosa. That was a great conversation. And then now we're ending the night here with my hermano. We got Danny Nemesis. Again, like I told you guys, this is still as well hashtag Project Week because we could talk a little bit about that. Danny and me have done some insane stuff at the project creatively, brother. Just take it away, like that artistry you've been doing, bro. Like
Oh man, where do we begin? I've been with the project. I mean, this is gonna be their third
third
show,
show. Yep.
right? Yeah, and I've been there since the first one. I've been picking up White Henny to the ring every show. He's always
He said good
bribing.
things about you too. That was the funny thing. I was like, it doesn't seem that way when you're carrying him in a sense.
I love the dude though. I'm not, he's my guy. Like how he likes to say de lo mío.
Yep, that's what he told me on the podcast. We're the lo mio. But again,
Yeah,
guys, we've already told you so much about it. You're gonna see more this week. But again, this Saturday, Project Codename Wrestling. Come check us out. We'll be there. You'll see me. You'll see Danny. I'll be in the commentary booth. But also, I gotta say, me and Danny, when we get together at these shows, if you guys have ever seen those backstage interviews that we do, it's thanks to this guy's camera work right there. Because me and him, when we get together, it's the dream team. He's seen me get my butt kicked at these shows.
yeah, dude. And I'm everywhere. Like I'm doing the camera work. I'm helping with the sound system, guys. I'm always running around, but you gotta love it, right? Like
Here
it's
we go. And see El Jefe right here. De lo mio right there. There we go. He says sorry for the delayed start time, but the Jefe needs more time. It's okay, Jefe. I gave you all the time you needed. I made sure we put your podcast over. It was a great episode. Definitely go check that out as well, guys, because we broke down the whole card. And again, El Jefe making those tough decisions that he had to do. But he gave me some of his time to be able to talk Project Codename Wrestling.
last time we saw Jefe in Codename Wrestling, he was getting his shirt bit by Danny Moff, so that
Yeah,
was
that
pretty
was
fun.
yeah, that was wild.
It was
Again,
it was intense.
but hopefully Danny Moff doesn't do that in 2 weeks. Because again, the reason why we're also here today, guys, is because we are talking Battle Club Pro as they present Welcome to War. This is gonna be an
Sure.
insane show. It's a Sunday show. That's
Yeah.
already to me. That's great right there. It's a Sunday. End your weekend off with some great action. Part of Juneteenth weekend as part of the amazing weekend of wrestling festivities. Let's talk a little bit about this event here. But also, before we get into the event, I almost forgot, Danny, I have to ask you a question because this is also, you're the first guest that has done both of my podcasts. I just noticed
Yeah.
that. You're the only guest I've had that's done both
Oh,
the Laws Roundtable and Respect the Craft so far. So we
awesome.
have to start with that question again. You're on the Respect the Craft podcast here. When you hear that term, the craft, what does that mean to you?
The craft. Okay, so I'm an artist, and as an artist, it's like we have a craft. It's the thing that we do, and when we have our craft, is the thing that we're always trying to perfect. It's never perfect for us. So a craft is the thing that you are mastering, because you can never be a master at any craft, but you can be very good at your craft, and the craft is the thing that you focus on to show your product. This is my craft. This is what I can do, and this is what I'm going to portray. You know, and we all have a craft. Like especially in wrestling, there's a spot for everyone, but we're all a part of this big no pun intended, this big project, right? That this big craft, this big performance that we're all a part of, and we're all given in our talents, our craft, to put on this big show. And I feel like it's very it's one of those things that we don't not a lot of people appreciate everything that goes on, all these different crafts that we're putting together to put on this bigger craft that is to putting on a professional wrestling show, which is, this is why we love it, right? Like
No, definitely, and that's
everything that goes in it.
definitely, and that's exactly why I called the podcast "Respect the Craft" because there's a lot more than it is than to just what people see on the screen. Like I said, a lot of the stuff, like I even said with Miguel Sosa, we are talking about it, like just the creativity that goes into this. Again, us
100%.
last show, a lot of the brainstorming that you and me did that turned into magic, and this is stuff that again, not everyone gets to see, and that's what I love about the craft. That there's so much that goes into it. And again, what goes into these events, like I said, we're going to be talking about it a little bit. Welcome to War. There's so much that goes deeper that we're going to be talking about here that is insane about this event.
Yeah, so, dude.
It definitely is. And again, this is what I love about it too. I love what the business does to this. I love what wrestling puts together here.
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, absolutely.
But let's get into it here because again, this is a stacked card, so I definitely want to get into this here. Let's start off with this first matchup right here. Let's get into a trios war here. As you got Prolific, a team that I feel like has like when it comes to the summer and it comes to Battle Club Pro, Prolific have been the MVPs because they've been part of the biggest wars in Battle Club Pro because it was, I want to say, give or take 2 years now when they put out the challenge to STP.
Yeah, dude. And honestly, like every time you see Prolific in a match, it doesn't matter where, but obviously for me, Battle Club is home.
Yeah.
And every time you see Prolific in any card, in any match, it's going to be a hard hitting match. People are going to get hit hard. And it's exciting. And then just seeing who they're facing. Those are guys that nobody should be sleeping on either.
No, definitely not.
So many talented individuals that are involved in this one match, man. Like it's one of those things that I don't want to sound corny, man, but that's one of these matches that you can't miss it. Like
no, you definitely can't. And it's one of those again, to say the cliche, it's a hoss fight right here.
Yeah.
Because you have Yaya in there and you have Tyree Taylor. That is about to be a fight,
dude. And it's like everyone involved in this match, everyone. And if you've seen them wrestle, and the fact that now we're putting all of these individuals in one match, and this is just one match, dude. Like, and
there's still so much to go, and this alone could possibly tear the roof off this place.
Absolutely.
And you know what I love? That this is legit. And again, not even joking. This whole card is in my neighborhood.
Yes.
And I know that just this matchup alone, you're going to hear it all around my neighborhood because they're going to go to war.
Here's a fun fact. I grew up in that neighborhood too. I'm from Clinton Hill, man. And it's right there. That whole area, I was walking. I went to high school by there, dude. It's that's home for me too. And the fact that neighborhood has its history too, and just knowing that there's just gonna be another fight.
Oh, definitely. You know what's crazy that I always bring up because of this neighborhood? Again, I grew up, I think maybe a block away from where legends like Low Key and Monster Mac grew up. Every time I have a podcast with Mac, we talk about we're legit in the same hood, basically. And seeing wrestling be around this area to me is insane.
Yeah,
and I love it. It's insane to see. But again, that matchup alone is gonna be just crazy. But we still have a whole card to go through.
From where the show's gonna be,
oh man,
it is fucking awesome, man. Just like everyone, we're all this big family.
And that's what you want in wrestling. Again, that's what I love about, especially independent wrestling. Again, we're gonna link up Saturday, and then from there we'll see each other again in another 2 weeks.
Yes.
And that's what you want. You want to see that just that enjoyment there. Well, let's keep going here because I just talked about this guy a little while ago because I was talking about him being a part of First Class in Big Cuzzo here. But here, Big Cuzzo's a little more. He tries to be a little more dominant here at Battle Club Pro, and he has not one but two challengers in front of him, as he has the mysterious Q, and he is one of the members of the Fallout here. He is again. He's one of the leaders in the Fallout. Anthony Gamble. This is going to be another just banger right here for a three-way dance.
And let me tell you, dude. Okay, so Anthony Gamble, he is the first captain of the Fallout Shelter.
Yep.
Now, I've been a part of the Fallout Shelter too since its genesis. Let me tell you, he's definitely a leader.
Yep.
But don't sleep on the dude. The guy can go. And then we have Big Cuzzo. Me and Cuzzo go way back, and just seeing how Cuzzo evolved, and now he's like this force that you just want to he's like when you see Cuzzo wrestle, man, he calls himself the Barricade for a reason.
Hey, it's what's crazy? It's not just a nickname either, though.
Yeah.
Again, when you see Cuzzo, he is a huge dude. He is a Barricade for a reason. And again, if you guys get a chance, go see him this Saturday, because he's going to show why he's a Barricade. Go see him the following Sunday, because he's going to show why he is a Barricade. And I love what new attitude he's shown. Because again, Cuzzo was known to be like the fun guy. He was throwing L's. He was doing all that.
Yeah.
But seeing him almost unchained.
Yeah, the evolution. It was literally night and day too.
Yep.
All of a sudden, it's Cuzzo. And then of course the third guy in this match, Mysterious Q. I remember I was on social media one day and I'm talking to this one fan from Texas, and he told me, dude, you need to see Mysterious Q. And I was like, oh yeah. And then of course Battle Club brought him, and I was a fan, just almost instantly. And now this three-way is happening, and we're seeing three powerhouses in one match. And the fact that we get to see this live, man, how awesome is that?
That's always what you love to see. Again, matches like this, that it's almost like you didn't know you needed to see it till it was put on paper.
Yes,
exactly. This is a matchup, and again, Mysterious Q, I definitely got to see a little bit out of him on the Texas scene, because I saw him and Keith. Mm-hmm. And seeing what they've done over there and what that scene has been. Texas, again, for anyone that's listening right now, check out the Texas independent scene. Look at what they're putting together.
The history that Texas has in professional wrestling alone. I mean,
especially for us, we love the Texas scene, because when you think about Texas wrestling, yes, you think about as well lucha libre.
Oh, absolutely.
Professional wrestling and independent wrestling over there has driven just insane as well. It's thriving in Texas. And seeing guys like Q now come over to our side, to the tri-state,
yes,
you're going to want to see why Texas is thriving right now in independent wrestling.
And why the East Coast is thriving too, man.
Well, you know what it is? Again, I'm trying to be a little unbiased, because I know we're killing it. Again,
of course.
When you talk about independent wrestling, the cornerstone of it is the tri-state. 100. When you think about independent wrestling, when you think about wrestling, there's a reason why when they mention a certain corporation or an entertainment corporation, they say New York. So because especially our area, this is where wrestling again is killing it.
Absolutely.
But there's so many other places.
There's never taking anything away from what Texas is doing. I mean, just look at legends that came from there, the Von Erichs, we can go on and on. We can literally we can have a whole podcast about that, but it's just awesome seeing, it's almost like the territory days, right? Where it's we're bringing the best from one area and then putting them against the best from another area. Sorry. And then just watching them kill each other. It's beautiful.
And that's what I love about the indies now, that I feel like it has become almost the territories again, because everywhere wrestling is blooming again.
Yes.
And I love it, because there was a time that sadly it felt like you didn't hear indie wrestling as much, because it was especially the era we grew up in, it was that 02, 03, 04. That's
Hmm.
when indies were thriving, ROH was killing it, all that. And then it kind of slowed down. Then 2015, again, everything bloomed.
Yeah.
And now we're getting that resurgence again, and it's everywhere.
And you know, it's
And
funny that it's not even like in the US anymore. Like we have indies in the
oh no,
UK.
it's everywhere.
We have
Yeah.
promotions in every country. We have promotions in China. We have promotions in Chile. We have promotions in DR. Like everywhere. You know, like
Oh,
it's
speaking
insane.
of China, shout out Bufa Ayo.
Yes.
Like again, from All Money Is Legal. If you guys remember All Money Is Legal, a throwback team right there.
And if you
The
don't,
the fact
you want to YouTube them.
definitely that's someone I got to bring on the podcast too. That reminds me.
Right.
But
Absolutely.
like, but seeing how again that's happening, you see how the UK scene is, and
Yeah.
again, this is what you have to love about independent wrestling, because then you have shows like again the show happening again this weekend. Project, you get the throw into everything, a little bit of everything, and
Literally.
then you have a great show like this that again bringing even more talent now over here.
Yes.
So,
And
and
of
that's
course,
what you want. You want the melting pot of everything in one. So, let's keep it going here. Let's talk
shout out
about
to the
another
Fallout
match.
Shelter, by the way. I love
Oh,
those guys.
definitely. I that to me again, from experience, getting to go and check out the Fallout Shelter, it gives you another kind of environment for training. Again,
That's family, man. Like,
yeah,
and that's not me trying to put them over or whatnot. They generally treat me like family. Like you guys, you have no idea. And there's such an amazing group of people. The fact that we started with 2 students and now we're like over 30, you know what I mean? And it's growing. It's a big bond between everyone, coaches and students. You know, it's just an amazing experience. If you guys haven't checked out the Fallout Shelter, if you guys want to train, and for people that are not like professional wrestlers and you're dreaming to become a professional wrestler, the Fallout Shelter is the place to go, man. Definitely check us out.
definitely no. And again, speaking from experience, being there and getting to see how it is and feel how it is. And again, not just putting it over because you're on the podcast, but just again from personal experience, I got to be a part of the facility for a day, and it definitely gave me an environment of this is what a training facility should be. This is what you want out of a school. You want something that hey, it gives you that feeling of like they care. That's
Yes.
what you want.
And we
And
are
there we
very big on that. You know, like we
there
are
we go.
very big on the fact that we want you to succeed. We want
Yeah.
you to live your dream. You know what I mean? And it's like we like all the coaches, man. Shout out to Steve Pena, Masha Slamovich, Mike Law, George Santi, like everyone involved, you know, to Joe K, it's my guy.
That's
Um,
that minor right there. Okay,
yes,
again, he's another one I got to get on here. But I know we've talked about it. He told me I have to go to the shelter. That's
yes,
gonna be the first in-person interview I ever do
yeah, dude,
because we
that'd
got
be
to make sure
awesome.
we get that done. We'll make it work because I'm gonna make if we do something like that, I'm just gonna do a whole. It's gonna be a Fallout special. That's what we're gonna do.
Yes, and that would be
But
awesome.
and here
And
we
we'll
go. We
definitely
talked
be
about him
there.
earlier. We
Oh,
got the
there you go.
captain himself. We got
The
Anthony
cat.
Gamble in the chat. There you go. There we go.
All
And
right.
that's great. But again, definitely, if you guys are looking to get into the professional wrestling business, if you want to train, this is definitely a place to be. Or if you're already a trained competitor,
Oh yeah,
they do offer
open ring.
private open ring that you get to again have a great facility there, a ring that definitely trust me, if you want to take those bumps and have a little bit of a give in that ring, Fallout's the place to be.
Yes,
That
sir.
ring actually,
Hit him up,
it's a
and
great facility right there. So definitely go hit up all the guys there. But let's keep it going here because this next matchup I'm looking forward to, as it features two people I know very well.
yeah.
As you have, we're gonna call them now by it is because again after that last show of Battle Club main event, Rembrandt himself, and you know she's your favorite, she's my favorite, Cosmic, teaming up to take on Joseph Alexander and Jordan Blade. Now this is gonna be interesting.
Oh, that's gonna be an awesome match, man. Like,
I love Rem and I love Cosmic, but
yeah,
I don't know if they're ready for what Jordan Blade brings to that ring. That
I don't know, man.
tenacity that she brings to that ring.
Let me tell you. Last time I saw Rembrandt in a match, he faced Steve Pena, and that was a very hard hitting match, man. Like, do not sleep on Rembrandt. And that's not taking anything away from their opponents. Cosmic, again, I seen her training at the Fallout shelter. I seen her matches that she's been having lately. Do not take them lightly, man. And I'm gonna tell you, these guys are gonna bring it. And I know that their competitors are, they're also like very, very talented, very, very hard hitting, very, very, everything. But these guys, man, like these guys are gonna bring it. And you know that you're gonna see a match. Like you're gonna see a match there, man. Like everyone involved in this, and it's not me trying to put them over or whatever. It's just the individuals and just seeing, like, especially me seeing how hard they train. You know, I know that they're gonna go into this match hungry, and they're
Yeah.
not just.
And I think that's the biggest thing that especially Rem and Cosmic have is that hunger still.
Yes,
They want to prove that these are the matches they should be having.
They
know, especially knowing Rem. Like
Yeah.
I know Rem going on years now, and I know he still has that chip on his shoulder. He still has something that's
should.
like he wants to prove, hey, when you're talking about main event caliber matches, when you're talking about who should be in those certain spots, he should be in the conversation. And I get it. He is very talented, and he has earned that keep. But I know he feels almost slighted in a sense.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, dude. And honestly, when you know you have the talent, all you need is an opportunity to prove it.
Yeah.
And I feel that this is definitely one of those opportunities to prove that you have that talent, you have that strength, you have that hunger and power to prove that, hey, don't sleep on these guys. These guys, man, don't sleep on anybody in this match, really. But
that's the thing too. Again, it's a lot of very talented individuals. Like I said, you're gonna want to see what these four bring to the table on that Sunday.
This is why the show's called Welcome to War. These people they're gonna go to battle, bro.
Yeah. If you haven't guessed it by now, like there's a reason why this show is named the way it is. Yes. These aren't your normal, hey, let's put together a match. This is going to be war.
Yes.
On June 19th. But let's keep it going here.
Yes,
let's go into it now. Because if we haven't told you about wars yet, this next one is going to be a bona fide just cost fight, grudge match. I don't know if Brooklyn's going to be able to handle these two going at it. I've been lucky to have one of them on the podcast. One of them I'm still afraid of just because I saw what he did to Miguel Sosa. We're going to talk about the Bayonne badass himself, Danny fucking Mauve, going head to head with the baddest of all time. He is truly a champion of the people, Shane Taylor. Let's talk about this because when I saw this announcement, I was like, what have they done? Because you're putting two of the hardest hitting guys in the same ring in Brooklyn.
Okay, so for anyone that hasn't seen either of these guys, first of all, shame on you, right?
Exactly. I was going to say, how have you not seen Danny Mauve or Shane Taylor?
If you have not seen either one of these two gentlemen that are about to have this match, let me tell you, every time these guys are in a ring, the person that is across the ring from them is in trouble. And the fact that now you have two people that are known to be huge threats face each other, that's an atomic bomb waiting to happen. And I know, like, we're over here just saying all sorts of like war cliches, but like I don't think people understand how good this match is gonna be. And it's like, I don't want to seem biased because Dan Moff it's a friend of mine, but at the same time, I don't want to sleep on Shane Taylor. It's one of those things where it's like, what's gonna happen? Like, what's gonna happen?
This is one that it's. I'm glad we're not doing a prediction show because I wouldn't want to go against either of them because I know what they're capable of doing. Again, Danny Mauve, a true OG.
Yeah.
2 decades plus in this business. Experience out of the wazoo, if you will. Like, this man is a veteran of the game. But you then add Shane Taylor. Shane Taylor, a dominant individual, straight out of, again, another one from that, killing it in the Texas area as well. Another one that has had the experience of being a part of Ring of Honor, being a part of, again, the best of the best in the independents.
And
And
everywhere he's
these,
been, he's dominated, man. It's insane.
both of these guys, when you see them walk into a room, you're like, how do I follow that? Because they're both gonna be that match that does that. It's like, how the hell do we follow this? But also, when you see them on the card, you're hoping, I hope I don't have to face that guy because he's about to kill me. Because now it's the battle of the burning hammer versus that lariat that Shane does as well. This is gonna be
It's one of those
insane.
matches, man, that you know you're gonna be on the edge of your seat when you're watching.
Oh, definitely.
Absolutely.
Like,
It's one of those things that no one I want to be there to witness. I don't think there's going to be a person on their phone or having a side conversation. I can guarantee you everyone is going to be at the edge of their seats because everybody's going to want to see what is going to happen.
just when you, that first punch.
Yes, the first lockup.
Like, just that's the thing. You're going to see a fight. If any of these matches we have sold as a fight to you, this is the match that will be a fight. Because you're not going to see your go-to, we're going to go into a wrist lock now. No. You're going to see two behemoths go at it, and they're going to try to beat the crap out of each other. Because this is one thing about this match that truly is that war feel here. I don't know if either of these two have the way to say I quit. If they have something that's going to make them want to stay down. And that's scary because Dan Moff has already faced a member of Shane Taylor Promotions. He's gone to war with O'Shea Edwards. But now
monster.
He's going head to head with the guy of Shane Taylor Promotions. He's going head to head with a guy that's been compared to be almost what the Hit Squad was in our era.
Yeah.
And he's faced one of those members. He's faced Low Key, and he defeated Low Key. So I know, look, he's definitely going into this matchup with tons of respect for Dan Moff. But when that bell rings, respect goes out the window,
100%.
and he's going to try to take his head off.
100%. And man, it's one of those matches. Again, not to say the old cliche, but you can't miss that match. There's no way you're going to want to miss that match.
Definitely not. This is going to be the one match I feel like even the locker room is going to be like this.
Yeah, 100%.
Like
peeping through the curtain, right? Like,
like the locker room is going to be like, oh, we got to watch this.
Yeah,
because you're going to hear it no matter where you're in that building.
You ever seen Dan Moff chop anyone? Like, you're going to hear it.
Yeah. So there's a reason. Again, this is going to be a match you want to be there for. But again, you're going to want to be able to see this whole card, including this next matchup here that features the All-Father himself. We have Darius Carter taking on Gia Scott. Let's talk about this because Darius Carter has been on a tear of the independent scene. Darius Carter this year alone was holding not one, not two, not three, but 4 major championships of the independent circuit. And not only did he do that, but he won the ECWA Super 8 tournament, a tournament so prestigious, especially in the tri-state.
Yes.
And again, when you look at who's been a part of those tournaments, and then you look at your TV screen, there's a reason for it.
Yeah.
So seeing what Darius Carter has done, Battle Club definitely was like, we got to bring him in now. But then you look at as well his opponent here. And again, you're thinking now, Gia Scott making the name, making her ways, and now she's going against the All-Father.
Yeah.
Danny, your thoughts on this? Because this is going to be this is a little more different than your normal, what we've been selling as these are wars. This is going to be a little more of your technical
this is a game
affair.
Of chess.
Yeah.
In my opinion, this is a game of chess. And because anyone who's seen Darius Carter wrestle, you know that you don't know what you're gonna expect.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very skilled. Like Darius Carter does not play checkers; he plays chess when he is inside a ring. But at the same time, when it comes to his opponent, you can't sleep on her either because last time I seen her wrestle, I was super impressed. She's so talented, man, and it's one of those things where it's just it's like the antithesis of the Danny Moff match where you know that they're just gonna try to kill each other. This is gonna be more of who's gonna get the checkmate, and that's what makes it exciting because you don't know what you're gonna get. And when you see a lot of people that have so much talent, and it's more of like a mental game of skill, and you know the cool thing about Darius Carter too, he always gets some sort of emotion out of you. Some sort of emotion out of you. But it's like at the same time, man, you gotta be there. You gotta be there.
This is one of those that's like, again, Darius is so like it's he's so sinister in that ring because he knows how to get you to feel just so many things. Because you want to feel sympathy for your opponent, for his opponent, because you start looking at how he picks apart a body part. He goes at it. He's so methodical, but then you start remembering, wait, but what is he gonna do next now? Because he goes at it that it's like you don't know.
Yes.
It's like he can go into, he's brought out the cravat, a move that you barely see in professional wrestling nowadays.
Yeah.
He'll bring out a cravat. He'll bring out his version of the headlock driver. He'll bring out whatever it is. And then he has so many other things that it's like sometimes he doesn't even need to bring out. That Yakuza kick of his.
Dude.
The foreclosure, the royal sweep.
He's so good. He's so good. And that's what makes it exciting to see his matches. But then there's also the fact that not only do we know that as fans, his opponents know that, and they know that they have to be extra careful with him. So then it gets to the point where you're not just walking inside a professional wrestling match. You're going into a game of chess because he is a master of that game of chess. And that's what makes it exciting because you're anticipating what his opponents are going to do. And I know that with this match, we're going to see a lot of things just come out of nowhere and things that you're not expecting, and it's going to be exciting. It's just this card is so awesome, man.
And it's crazy because again, I said this is the match that maybe when we kept using the war terminology, but the thing about this is this might be the closest to an actual war, because when you think about war and you think about battle, it is a mind game. Because now you have to strategize. You have to do so many things. And if I'm G. Scott and I'm thinking about this matchup in 2 weeks, I have to now think, how can I predict a man that is so unpredictable in that ring?
And you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. One false move, and Darius Carter, man.
and that's what I'm saying. That's what you have to prepare for. You have to try to think, what can I do that's going to be surefire?
100%.
So that's going to be one you have to look out for. But this next one, let's start getting into, now it's time to get into gold. Now it's time to start talking about those lovely championships that Battle Club Pro has. Let's talk about this one first here, as we're going to talk about the Battle Club Pro 5 Points Championship. We mentioned him earlier. We talked about his war with Rembrandt at the last Battle Club Pro show. Let's talk about this, as Steve Pena will be defending the 5 Points Championship against the big bad kaiju himself, O'Shea Edwards. And to me, this is insane because usually for O'Shea Edwards, he usually has height on his opponent. He usually has that it's like, okay, you start seeing the difference there. Steve Pena is no small guy. Like, this is going to be something that, again, it's almost I could say it's a David versus Goliath, but it almost could be a battle of just two Again, almost two kaijus here, because it's going to be a fight between two guys. They're definitely no small task.
And let me tell you, height aside, man, Steve Pena hits really hard.
Yeah.
Steve Pena is a striker, man, and he's another one that he's very skilled at everything he does. Everything he does for a reason, and there's a reason why. Not only is he champion, but he's successfully defended that belt against, like if you've seen the last two matches he's had with Masha Slamovich, they were hard hitting matches, and you know that even though those two went to war, like, and no matter who got their hand raised at the end of those matches, you know that it was a fight, and this time it's going to be no different, man. Like, and obviously you see Steve's opponent he's going to wrestle that day, and you've seen him in Ring of Honor, you've seen him everywhere he's been, and you know that he's a force, but this is not going to be, an easy match for him, because they call Steve Pena the finisher for a reason. It's the reason why Steve Pena is a coach in the Fallout shelter. At the same time, like, there's a reason why he's in the position he's at, man. And honestly, I feel that this is going to be one of those matches where they're going to hit each other hard, man. Like, it's going to be one of those matches.
It's another one, like we talked about it earlier with Danny Moff and Shane Taylor. We talked about it's going to be from the first strike. And this is going to be another one that they're definitely going to test who's going to have the might in this.
Yeah.
Who's going to have that stronger will to be like, I'm going to be able to knock the opponent down.
And what's it going to take for either one of these two to be able to get that 3 count or that submission or however this match ends up, right? Like, what's it going to take? Because none of these two are just going to be like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, these two are going to go for a fight, man.
And that's what you want, though. You want, especially if you're going to a card, you want to see a true fight. You want to see, hey, I came here to see, again, wrestling. You want to see it. And this is going to be that. It's going to be all that.
Like you said earlier, too, like, this is not, like, good thing it's not a guessing game or a predictions game, right? Like, because we really don't know what's going to happen.
And that's what I love. It's just, hey, this is us talking about it, giving you guys the full breakdown, because I cannot predict what would happen here.
100%. No.
It's so difficult to predict. And that's what I love about independent wrestling, especially when it's cards like this, and especially when it's cards like Exodus on Saturday, because it's cards you truly can't predict. It's cards you truly can't be like, oh yeah, that's gonna happen.
And it's one of those matches that you just really want to see, like whether it's for Exodus, whether it's for Welcome to War. These cards are matches that you want to watch. You want to be there, because these are great matches, man, and it's such a good time to be a fan. And such a good time to be involved,
And that's what you want. You want to be able to still. This is what brought us in to professional wrestling. This is what made us fall in love with matches like this, fall in love with the business like this, because this is what we want to see. We want to see, again, the best of the best going at it. So this is a matchup that definitely is going to give you that feeling of just like, this is why it's a championship match as well. Because that's what we have to add to it. There's a reason why there is a championship as well involved in this.
And even though this championship doesn't really have like a long history, it has a very good history so far. Every time this belt has been put on the line, you're going to see a good match. And, it's one of those things. And Steve Pena's champion, like, every time he puts that belt on the line, you're going to see a good match. You know that he is going to make sure he walks out that venue with his belt. You know
what it is too? It's showing that even with how he won the championship, again, it was a tournament based to win the championship. So showing that he was able to conquer a whole tournament to prove he should be 5 points champion, and now defending it with that prestige, he is making it into a main championship.
100%.
So,
100%. And I remember when I first saw the belt, like before, and it was in anyone's hands.
yeah,
I just knew. I knew once I saw like the names that were put on that tournament and
yeah.
everything. Once I saw like the possibilities, and once you saw that final match, man, it was a match. And this match right here, man, it's gonna be no different.
No.
You're gonna see a fight, and you're gonna see Steve Pena make sure that he either leaves champion, or that if he doesn't leave champion, that you're gonna have to rip it out of his hands, because it's gonna be one of those. It's gonna be a very good match, man.
And that's I can't wait for that because that's what you want. Again, you want that kind of that grit. But let's keep it going here as we're now going to talk about the Battle Club Pro franchise championship here. I know if Elliot Martinez is watching, Mr. Martinez is going to love this because we're talking about Federated's own Mick Drake
The
here.
dagger.
So this is going to be interesting because now he is facing off against another member of STP here. We have Moses, the messenger, Moses here. And he's definitely going to lay a message to Mick Drake because Mick and Federated, they like to have their way in Battle Club Pro. We saw it at 2 shows ago. They deceived Battle Club Pro. Abraham Khan joined, and he was a little bit of a Judas, if you will, to the fallout.
100%. And just knowing that he was a part of the Fallout shelter, and like he walked in with the rest of the students, all of these hungry students, and then all of a sudden he turned their back on them. But like Mr. Martinez says, it's just business. So let's see, man, because you never know. Like, it is going to be a good match, but again, it's one of those matches where you can't count out either one of these two.
No, and why would you?
Federated-
That's the best thing. Like it's one of those that's like you want to go in this with full just, hey, I want to see a good match, and it is going in with those open eyes of it
yeah,
because it really is going to be one. Like I'm looking forward to this.
Federated is just one of those brands that you really never know what you're gonna get, because again, like Mr. Martinez, like he plays chess with everything, with everybody that wrestles, like under the Federated brand.
Yeah.
They play chess. There's a reason why Mick Drake's champion and why he's been able to retain that belt and these guys, you know this is definitely a test for Federated, because again, we're talking about STP, what they've been doing, and how they've dominated everywhere they've been, and how Federated has been dominating everywhere they've been, and now we're getting that, So again, what's gonna happen, man?
I'll say this again, seeing what Federated has done, there's a reason why the Dagger has held this championship, like almost with a brass, like just he has it there, like it's a brass lock.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, and again, when you have someone like Mr. Martinez and you have what Federated brings, they almost sharpen. Just again, it's iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
Their mentality of how they are, and again, some of their actions maybe a little on the nose, maybe something that not everyone would agree with, but hey, again, I'm still waiting for Mr. Martinez to offer me a little bit of a Federated position, but hey,
you already wear red, dude.
I've said this. Look at my hair. I'm already halfway in, but
who knows? Maybe you get an email one day, right?
Again, my information is there. It's in the link down below. But speaking of Federated, let's talk about another part of Federated that would be there on Welcome to War, as the Battle Club Pro Tag Team Championships will be on the line, as Jay Lion and Midas Black, the main event, will defend against Federated's own Savi El Sabah and Treehouse Lee. So here we go with this. What are your thoughts, Danny? Because this is going to be tag team personified.
Anyone that's ever seen the main event wrestle knows, and no pun intended, you're about to see a show. Like, and those guys, I mean, again, very good friends of mine. Shout out to the main event. Um, those guys are very, very talented, but this is definitely a test for those guys. They like now you're facing again two of Mr. Martinez's guys, and you know that these guys they're there. They already have a blueprint. They already have a plan, and nobody knows what's gonna happen. You don't know like what they're gonna bring to the table, and the main event definitely has. They definitely have a test ahead of them, and they're very talented. Two talented individuals. Everywhere they've been, they've shown why they're champions, and this is going to be one of those things where it's going to be like, you know, what's going to happen, you know, and it's definitely going to be a very interesting match to see because it's just four very talented individuals, man. And shout out to Bam Collins, by the way, the OG of the Fallout Shelter, one of the first two students. Um, just saw that he, but like those guys, man, like this match is gonna be insane. And every time Federated has people in that ring, you know that you're gonna see somebody that's,
Again, it's playing that mental game. And the best thing about this as well is you're having a matchup here where both teams are that close. You have the main event that are as close as brothers here.
Mhm.
And then you have Federateds too that they have that actual family relation here.
100%.
Like there's one thing to have that bond and they feel you're as close as brothers. And then you have actual blood going together in this.
Yeah.
Like this is going to be insane to see. And again, to see who will walk out your Battle Club Pro Tag Team Champions, which again, I know for the main event, it's going to be something that they're going to make sure they walk out of Brooklyn with those belts because
100%.
Just to think what they got through to become champions is going to take a lot to take those championships away. Again,
100%.
maybe this is what Mr. Martinez has. He's finally found what is the team or pairing that will be able to do it. But we'll find out on June 19th.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and I can't wait, man.
I definitely can't.
And
either.
that whole entire card, we broke it down, and everything just sounds exciting.
And we still have one more to go.
Oh,
we still have one more match to go here, as it's going to be the Battle Club Pro Icons Championship here, as it will be Big Swole defending that Icons Championship against Willow Nightingale. And again, this is another star-studded matchup. This is going to be insane because, again, we can list down everything Big Swole has done, and this could be a whole nother podcast because we just go down the accomplishments.
Just
Willow as well. Like Willow as well, because Willow has been killing it. She's been having the opportunities she's had, getting to be a part of, again, insane matchups as well. There's a reason why both of these competitors will be fighting over a huge part of Battle Club Pro, and it is that Icons Championship. So
the Icons Championship is probably one of the most prestigious championships at Battle Club Pro. And the fact that Big Swole's held it for as long as she's held it, the matches that she's had defending that championship, you know that Willow's not gonna have an easy match here. Like Big Swole's charisma alone, like I said earlier, is godlike, and just her presence, everything. She's such an amazing human being too, and I'm definitely excited to see because, like how you said, Willow's been having like these great matches. She's been showcasing her talent, and you know that she's gonna give it her 1,000%. And just the fact that she's gonna face somebody like Big Swole, who's champion for a reason. We're gonna see fireworks, man. It's gonna be fun. I'm telling you.
And this is gonna be the thing too that I feel like usually when you go into this, again, like we talked about, Big Swole has been champion for so long. And it's one of those that this might be the opponent that could take it. And it's insane again, I'm glad this is not a prediction show
100%.
because this is insane. And here we go. We got the boss man himself. What's up?
Oh, Joe.
Here we go. Another former
Love
guest
that
of the
dude.
podcast here.
Yeah,
Shout out to Money Morales there.
he's one of those people that I will always hold a special place in my heart. He's such an amazing human being in general. The fact that he put this card together too, dude. It's like
This is again.
playing with all of our emotions, man. Like, shout out
It's
to Joe.
insane right here. It's insane. This is a fire card. And again, guys, this is why we want to bring this podcast here to you to break down because there's so much that again, we're trying to condense this into an hour for you guys, and we could be here for so much longer.
For so many
Just
hours.
talking about this. But again, you're gonna want to be there on June 19th. Tickets are still available. Link is gonna be in the description because you're gonna want to see this stacked card. Also, the whole festivities because this is a part of Black Wrestle Fest. Go check out everything. Presented to you by Pretty Heels Association with so many great podcasts, so many great people, including again Fallout Shelter, Battle Club Pro, and just that amazing family there. So definitely go check that out and go check out Welcome to War.
Yes.
That is going to be an event you're not going to want to miss. But now, Danny, we've gone through the card. Let's talk a little bit about you now before we let you go. Let's talk about that insane art that you do. Because again, that's been the selling point when I've been promoting the podcast because just seeing the stuff you've been putting out, those stickers are insane. I know you have them somewhere. Can you show the people at home?
Man, I've been getting busy, dude. Like I've been like working on this like project with like these arcade machines.
Yeah.
That has a little bit of everything. Has a little bit of pro wrestling. Has a little bit of like my graffiti background, and of course, video games and everything. Just an example. This is one of them.
Look at that.
Yeah, and you find me at a show, I'll be having some on me. We'll talk price and you see me. I recently been also like making my own sticker packs. My
those are cool.
Original packaged. It has all original artwork in here. Just stickers of all the stuff I've been working on like throughout the years. A lot of like more recent stuff. I recently also like have these bigger stickers. My Thunder Liger piece that I did. I only have 7 of these just due to the size there. But again, find me at a show. We'll talk. I'll have them on me. They're very fun, dude. I've been getting busy with like art in general, not just like my own personal projects, but like like from designing championships to designing gear for people, merch for people, and I've been blessed to be able to be a part of it and being able to use my talent to like get things done and it's we're not stopping anytime soon. Things are just gonna grow, get bigger, and being a part of this and being able to use like the thing I know how to do, the things I've always been doing for years, the success I've had throughout the years in professional wrestling and my own personal like art career, it's been a blessing. And I like being able to give back to like the industry that's given me so much, so like the stuff I've been doing with the Fallout Shelter, the things I've been doing with Battle Club, the stuff I've been doing with Project Codename Wrestling, like the list goes on and on from like when we've met. Like,
yeah, bro. And this is what I love, and this is again why when you asked me about coming on eventually, I was like, I jumped on it, like, bro, whenever you want, because to me, and this is something I talked about with a few people, when I see where a lot of us started to where we're at now, is insane to me. Like, look at the picture I posted this morning. Again,
yes,
7 years ago.
Like, and the thing is, again, it's the same environment where we met, and just knowing that we've grown so much from just being behind a guardrail, wishing that we were one day a part of, to be, now doing podcasts, doing artwork, doing commentary.
Again, and this is the insane thing, because again, when we met again, it's still that love for the business, it's love for wrestling, and never we would have thought, yeah, we're gonna be doing this one day and being a part of
Yes.
it in our own versions of the craft. And that's what I love about professional wrestling, and what I love about the craft of it all is that there's so many niches a part of it
Hmm.
that again, there's something in there for everyone.
There's a spot for everyone,
Yeah,
and if you have the love for the sport,
and you
you
have the respect.
and the respect, 100%, the respect, and I can't stress that enough because the reason I feel I've been able to do, I don't feel like I've hit any sort of like milestone, but the little bit I've been able to do, I feel that I've been able to accomplish certain things just because of the simple fact that I respect this sport so much. The fact that I love the sport so much, and that it's given me so much. And it's like, it's when you have a mentor, you want to give, he gives you so much, and now it's your turn to give back because of that respect, that mutual respect that we have for the industry. And
Definitely.
it's one of those things where sky's the limit and there's a spot for everyone, and it's up to you how you shine, right?
Definitely. And again, I feel like that's been something that I when I look back at it, like again, when I posted that this morning, I thought about like, wow, it's been 7 years getting to be a part of like this crazy indie world and seeing what again that evolution is. I looked
Hmm.
at it this morning, I'm like, damn, my hair was normal at one point. And I was less tattooed. And then I'm like, now I'm like, I wouldn't have changed a thing. Getting to
Yeah.
meet the people I have, getting to see what I have, and getting to grow and learn around this. And again, meet some amazing people, getting to meet you guys, and getting to meet so many of the amazing people I've gotten. It's definitely been that learning process for a lot of us.
And even the downsides, I
Yeah,
wouldn't change the downsides. And trust me, there's a lot of them,
yeah, sadly, yeah.
right? But even the downsides, those are always good lessons to learn,
No,
to know what not to do or what to expect in certain situations. And, and being able to make the right choice and do the right thing, and when you give, you get rewarded, and it's a known fact, and we've both experienced it, and it's just so awesome to be a part of this stuff, man. Like, just it's awesome, dude, because we both started around the same time. It's
no,
crazy.
no. And I go. It's funny because I think we even said this the last time when it was for Fallout, that it was crazy because we both knew each other for so long. We had started around similar points,
Hmm.
and that was the first time we got to work together.
Yes, that is very true. When we were at project, and
Yeah,
project was the first time we actually did work together,
no.
and that was
So
awesome.
and bro, it's gonna get even crazier from now. I can't wait for Saturday, and I
100%.
can't wait for the future opportunities because again, more people gotta put us together in some positions. Which
100%.
now I gotta bring this up as well before I let you go. Is I saw that you also got to dabble in the commentary.
Oh yes.
So how was that for you? Because again, I've told my side of just my first experience getting to do a commentary and just falling in love with again telling that story. How was that for you?
Okay, so when like people tell like student wrestlers that you should always be studying
Yeah.
matches, I found myself in a very similar situation where I found myself studying commentary. Just
Okay.
because it's one of those things that a lot of people take for granted. We don't
Hmm.
know how much of a task that is to be able to tell a compelling story while the people in the ring are telling their story,
Yep.
you know and I felt it was a privilege, 100%. Shout out to Joachim for giving me that opportunity to do that show. um my voice was shot. My voice was definitely shot.
You know what's funny? I remember that was the first thing I asked you. I'm like, so how's your voice?
a hundred
And then
percent
instantly I was like, okay, do this and do this because this
Yeah,
helped.
yeah. And I also want to thank Mike Law. He, like, I definitely pulled, like, he's a coach for a reason. He's done commentary for Battle Club. So I asked him a few, like, for um tips to, like, what can I do? Who should I study? Like, what are things that I should keep in mind? Thanks, Joe. You see, Joe's amazing. He's awesome. um, like, and just studying like my favorites. Like, I'm a huge Joey Styles fan, and and then of course, um, I remember we were talking about Mauro Ronaldo, how amazing he's been, like
No.
his work in NXT and everything. And I definitely like try to study and pick the things that I feel would fit my style,
Okay.
and developing something that it was definitely a task. It was definitely something I enjoyed. It is definitely something I want to do again. And Jill says I did great. I'm my worst critic, right?
Oh, trust me, I'm the same way. Like, I
But
think
I
I've
only want to
watched.
get better. It's like
Yeah,
you become a student of this stuff and you're studying this stuff and you just want to keep growing and want to be able to develop a style.
no.
Then hopefully one day, they're going to be talking about how great commentators Ray Sanchez and Danny Nemesis were, like, and
Oh
it just,
man.
again, something I am very proud to have under my belt in this industry, something I've always wanted to do for a very long time, and I was privileged to be able to do it. um, Definitely something I do want to continue, want to pursue, and I don't know. Who knows where it takes us, right? Right?
Hey, definitely. I was gonna say now the next thing that we need to do is get someone to let us both do it at the same time.
100. How fun would
Someone put
that
us
be?
as a team. If anyone's
And
watching still,
a
because I
hundred
saw
percent.
there's some jefes in this, there's some boss man. Someone listen to this and let us
Yes.
call a match. Um, no, but definitely, and I feel like that's been my thing. Like, I've watched back Fallout so many times by now, and I'm picking apart my own commentary because that's what I love to do with wrestling in general is study it and pick apart just to be like, okay, this could have been done better, this could have been done, just to be able to again learn the presentation of it all and learn everything.
Yeah.
And it's funny because again, I got the same. I got people telling me, "Hey, you did this great. This could work on that kind of stuff." But I'm like, "No, this was horrible to me." like again,
We're
don't
all
get me wrong.
workaholics, man.
I love doing it. I can't wait to be on commentary again on Saturday.
Yeah.
And it's still you know what it is too? It's that hunger again because it's that feeling of like us think about where we were and look at what we're doing now.
Yeah. And
So it's still that humility of like, no, I'm still not doing it at where I could do. Like it's
yeah,
still
man.
growing.
100%, man. And it's just one of those things where, you know, like my first experience doing commentary was, calling the matches of some of the students of the Fallout Shelter, which, a lot of these guys are very good friends of mine. Like some of them pop their heads in to give it, to say hello. And people that I've grown to like consider family, I had the privilege to call some of their first matches. Like when like we are talking about guys like Bam Collins, we're talking about Jory Lee, we're talking about Sammy Chaos, just everybody that's involved in the Fallout Shelter. I had the privilege to call their first match, and that their match was the first thing my first experience as doing commentary. It's just such an awesome experience. It's just a lot of firsts for a lot of people that day, and the fact that that it's just the beginning. That's the exciting part. Like hopefully a lot of these guys from the Fallout Shelter, they go to bigger stages, and I can proudly say like, hey, I called that guy's first match. You know what that is? It's pretty cool if you think about it.
No,
And
definitely. And it's one of those, it's again like again, I always look at it like, hey, we're trying to help tell that story because the focus is those guys in the ring. But it's always insane to me to look back and now think about look at what story we're helping tell. Look at what we're doing here. And again, we're doing something that we grew up watching and that love for it of like, we're doing this. And I look back at the last show, I got to call a match for Black G's. But again, I grew up watching.
watching, yeah,
Everyone loved Blackout. Everyone loved Philly's Most Wanted. And seeing that, it's like, yeah, I just did
right,
that. Like, that's
right.
insane.
Like I remember, like you know, it's funny that you mentioned that because I remember that one time one of the people I thought would have never reached out to me, and that was when I had the privilege, and it's still one of like if not the highlight of my art in wrestling career. And
yeah.
Homicide asked me to do a design for him, and then he put that on gear and wrestled in Bound for Glory. Like it's one of those things. Like, man, if you would have told 12-year-old Danny that Homicide was going to be wearing something he designed, he would have called you crazy. And And it's just one of those things where it's one of those things that when you give, it gives you. And it's just such an exciting thing, and like you gotta love it. It's one of those
Oh,
things you have to love it.
definitely, man. Again, this is what to me it's like the whole ride and the roller coaster of it all makes it worth it. For
100%.
moments like that, for those moments that it's like, you know what, this is what brought me here.
And it's very rewarding. Like
Yep.
I remember the first time I designed gear. It was for Evander James. He's now Mr. James.
Yep.
He like I designed gear, and when I first saw him wrestle in the gear I designed, that was the first experience I've ever had with anything like that. Super rewarding. It's super rewarding because it's something that we've always wanted to be a part of.
Yep.
And we found our spot, and now that we have this spot, we're capitalizing on this spot and trying to get better and grow and
Yep.
just give, and it's just for me personally, it's such a rewarding feeling. I love the shit, man.
Same, man. You know what's great? It's funny about that because I remember you telling me about it afterward that you were the one that designed it because I made him in one of the video games.
Yes.
And I used the design you did, and I was like,
Yeah.
and you're like, bro, I made that like the look for the gear. I'm like, here you go, it's in a video game now.
How awesome is that though, right?
Like, and again, it's those little things. Like it's what I love about this business, and it's again, it's crazy to see what we're gonna be doing. And years from now, we're on my third podcast. We'll be talking about that. Like, well, we're back here again. Like,
I'm gonna continue breaking records. I've been in every one of Ray's podcasts.
Well, hopefully by then, again, if anyone's listening, we'll have called a few matches together.
Yes,
we'll talk about that.
That is the goal. That is the next goal.
That's our goal to put us in a commentary booth together.
Putting that out to the world, to the universe.
But speaking of goals, again, Danny, I don't want to take up too much more of your time, brother, because I know you're a busy man. And again, we got to get ready for this Saturday as well.
Yes.
But speaking about goals, let's talk about what is your end goal? Be it for as an artist, be it in the business, what is your end goal?
It's funny because I had this conversation not too long ago. And I have many. That's the problem. But there's this one goal I do have. It's not my end goal, but it is definitely like on top of the list. I would like to have my own venue where it's the Nemesis arena or whatever. And just because, the Northeast wrestling scene has given me so much. And, there's one thing that I feel is very important in any show, in any independent wrestling show, is the presentation. And I would like to provide a, a stage that doesn't have that stereotypical, Elks Lodge bingo hall or whatnot. Like I want to be able to provide a stage for talent to be able to be showcased, how they deserve. Like these guys are putting their health, their bodies on the line. And as a person that wants to grow as an artist, whether it's, doing my own personal projects or whether it's, the projects I'm trying to do in professional wrestling, I want to be able to one day make it so that would be my way of giving back, a stage to, for talent to be able to showcase what they do best, right? And I feel like it's always been like one of those things, like a venue. And of course, me being a heavy metal guy, I also want to have like music concerts there, comic conventions and whatever, just a place where I can give back to the things that's been giving me, whether it's art, whether it's rock and roll music, and of course professional wrestling, things that have given me some sort of sanity. And that I want to be able to provide a stage, and that would be my way of giving back.
It's funny because that I just clicked in my head as well. It's crazy that you say that because it's the perfect like artist answer because you want to give the canvas.
Of course,
so
you get it
like that. It just clicked in my head. Like
I always said that professional wrestling is as visual as it is physical.
Yeah.
A lot of people just think like, oh, it's one guy versus another, and they're gonna clash, and they're gonna no. It's like I remember when I first saw. I'm obviously a huge Jushin Thunder Liger fan,
Yeah.
and the first thing that gravitated me towards him before I saw him wrestle was his appearance.
Yep.
And it's like, holy shit, he looks so awesome. I really want to see what's gonna happen. The entrances, the music, the like you talk of like where there's people and they talk about where they've wrestled, they talk about the acoustics of the arena, they talk about presentation and
Yeah.
like when guys get gear made, they want to stand out. They want to showcase what is them, what represents them. And for me, that's very, very important, especially as an artist. I always see the art in everything. I want to be able to provide, like how you said, a canvas to showcase talent, and it's definitely one of my end goals. I mean, of course, I have many, many more because my brain just never stops, running.
Yeah. It's like we talked about earlier. It's that busy feeling that's like it's what we want though. We want to stay busy, we want to stay working because again, it's what keeps us going as well. But
Yeah,
no, I love that. I love that idea of it because I love the thought of being able to add again to this business by adding the canvas. Because I always say, and this is why I call it the craft, and why I always say I'm a student of the art, because to me, wrestling is that. It is an art form. It's the biggest art form because
it's the best art form.
it's everything as well. Because
Mhm.
it has the art of again the visual, the physical, but also it has that story and it has the theatrics of it all. That it's like it's painting your picture, but you're able to interpret what you interpret from it.
I think I had this conversation with you last time I saw you at the project,
Yep.
where it's like professional wrestling has almost every form of art. Like it
Yep.
has music, there's the theatrics, there is the sport, there is the presentation, the lights,
Yep.
the storytelling. Like it's just so much art forms into one, and it's such an amazing thing to witness, man. It's like it doesn't get any better than professional wrestling. That's
It
why, you know,
it really doesn't, and at the same time, it's like there's nothing that would get close to what professional wrestling does.
of course,
There's nothing that adds all this in such a perfect like symmetry either. Because
yeah,
there's nothing that's gonna be like you're able to put all this and it's not as crazy as wrestling.
right.
Like
And and of course, there's ups and downs to everything, but the fact that if you look at it in a more general sense, everything that we just pieced together, this puzzle that
yeah,
creates professional wrestling, shows how beautiful the sport is. It
yeah,
is such it's such a beautiful sport, just because it encompasses so much, and everyone that's involved has to have some sort of talent.
yeah.
And when you have so many talented individuals getting together, putting on this one show, it's beautiful. Like
Yeah. And
it's better than any art gallery you've seen, man. Like
you know what I call it too, because it's beauty and chaos.
of course.
Because look at again, just for example, the last show we were at together at Project. To think again, everything we got done, and it came out insane, and it came out great. Because again, and that's what I love about the professional wrestling business is that you can do so many things in one night, but by the end of it, you're like, there's something to pay off there. There's
I just
something to be
remember how
like,
I just remember how tired we were at the end of that night too. Like we were just exhausted. We were like, all right, we're done. But it felt rewarding at the same time.
and what was funny is that every time we were like, okay, we're good. More promo.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're promo. This guy, and it's funny. We forgot one person, and we thought we had everyone. Like
Who did we forget?
we forgot Nikolai White's promo.
The
Because and, I
one
mean,
guy that loves to cut promos.
right,
We
and
forgot his
like, how
promo.
did we forget the most charismatic guy in the freaking?
Ah.
But
Wait, I know why we forgot his promo, but we'll leave that for a discussion between you and me.
yes,
So, but again, that is the great thing about this. And again, it's the laughs of it all, it's the love for it all. And again, if anyone's listening to this, definitely, if you want to get involved in this madness that we love and this art form, go check out Fallout. Definitely do because again, if you want to get trained the right way and you want to get trained by people that share that same love for it, definitely go check them out. Again, Go check out because they have coaches like Mike Law, Masha Slamovich, Steve Benyat, George Stancy, Money Morales, Hoka, even Danny. Because again, this is something that I feel like, and Mr. Martinez as well. Because when you go to Fallout, you're not just learning as well the in-ring fundamentals. You're learning everything that you need to be able to be in this business. Because again, you can listen from me and Danny here. We're telling you also just what we bring to the table. Because again, wrestling isn't, and again, this is the main focus. This always should be the focus, is a presentation of what's in the ring. But there is the marketing side. There is the art. There is just so many other things that they don't teach you in just any ordinary wrestling school that you will be able to learn at the Fallout.
100%.
So definitely go check them out. Go check out their next show as well, which again, we broke down here. If you're just joining us, go restart the episode. Go check out as we broke down the full show here of Welcome to War. That will be a week from Sunday. You're going to want to be there. We'll both be there. We're going to enjoy the night. And again, also, if you're in the tri-state area, especially in the Union County area, come check out Project Codename Wrestling. As again, we'll both be there. You'll probably see us running around with a camera for a little bit of the night. But then you also get to hear me do some commentary as I'll be calling the action. And again, it's going to be 2 fun nights of professional wrestling in 2 different just visual sides of it. But again, it's all great action in 2 great nights that you're going to want to be a part of. And again, also go check out Black WrestleFest. That will be the weekend of Welcome to War as they're putting together a great just weekend of awesome festivities with professional wrestling that you're going to want to check out and be a part of. So again, guys, as always, Danny, thank you so much for joining me, brother. This was great to get to talk to you. And again, we'll definitely bring you back on again because we could go here for hours. We're already an hour 16 in, and we could go for
we can
so
go for like
more.
3 more hours if you let us.
But definitely, we're going to let it go here. Guys, thank you so much for watching. For everyone that's actually watched all 3 of these podcasts today, thank you so much because this has been insane to put together. But for everything, thank you to the rep for joining me and Jefe himself, Miguel Sosa. Thank you, Danny, for joining me. And for everyone that's watched and continues to watch this week, because again, we still have more podcasts to go, guys. Project Week 2. Tomorrow, I'll be joined by Deshaun Pratt and Boom Harden, a.k.a. CMD. Wednesday, I'll be joined by Dashing D1000. And Thursday, we end the week, possibly, I'm not sure yet, but with Devontae's, and you never know who else might be joining us for Project Week. Till then, guys, I've been Ray Sanchez. As always, don't forget to be wise, be genuine, be real, be better people, respect the craft, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.